We get a 1, personal space, 2, personal space, 3.
Hey, hello listeners. This is just a quick disclaimer for this week's episode. As anyone that's listened to the show before knows, there can be some adult language, and anyone that's listening for the first time, please keep that in mind. We tend to be ourselves and not filter, so occasionally a bad word might come out. If you have any children in the room, please put on some headphones or have them put on some headphones. Thank you.
That I don't even care about this. I'm not even interested in having this skin on my personal space.
You're listening to the IDP Guys with Sean, John, and Nathan, the Wizards of Fantasy Football. Your go-to source for the individual defensive player strategy. And now, 3 guys who could only make an NFL team on Madden.
All right. Welcome back to the IDP Guys. This is episode 135. My name is Nathan. We're joined with our special guest, IDP Dude, for the show today, filling in for Sean. Thanks, IDP Dude, for coming on.
Got it. You got to give the people what they want.
Yeah, and of course, Johnny's here.
We've got greetings. How is everyone?
Good.
Fantastic.
Right. So before we get into the show, got a couple announcements. First, I want to go through the rip list from the IDP Invitational, the guys that we want to give a little honor to that have just stepped away because of the Week 15 matchups. Ray G, Tyler Joseph, Fernando A, Philip Rutherford, Jonny The Greek, Matt Donnelly, Zach Magley, Nathan C., Andy Spiteri, Matt Lawson, Sean, Scott Osterloh, Brian Douglas, Bob Nixon, and Mathis Allen. Thanks, everyone who has played in the IDP Invitational. Getting this far is, well, for me, is awesome. It's an honor, and it's just great to be able to support the Autism Awareness, Autism Speaks, and raise that money. So if you weren't involved or you just got out of the playoffs, make sure to sign up for 2021 at the idpguys.org. There's a link. You just fill it out, and then we will pick people to play in July. We send out the invitations. So, yeah, there's 10 guys left, and top score wins. There's about 3 from our crew representing.
Who we still got in there?
We have
not me.
Yeah,
no, Morgan's in there. There is Dean is in there, and is it Kyle?
Is it Kyle? I didn't hear his name just now. I knew he was still going.
Yeah, well, if you haven't, I'm just double checking. I put the graphic up. It is Kyle. So the guys left, Morgan McLean, Brad Lovelock, David Kokanur, Kyle Bellafuel, David Fried, Donnie Yoon, Joshua Ofahulu, Harris, Dean Pushard, and Ryan Livergood. So those are the guys. One of them will win the first IDP Invitational. So
I wanted to win this so bad. I was so pissed when I got knocked out of the first round by like 4 points.
Yeah, I remember seeing your name go first. It's like, oh man,
it was all because of a shitty week by Big Ben, and
you almost cost me the playoffs this week.
Yeah, and so I was, and of course, this past week, Josh Allen blew up, who was on my team. So, it is what it is. Next year, I'll win.
Yeah. Well, hey, I got an announcement. If you enjoyed playing the IDP Invitational, I'm using the same scoring on the IDP Guys 2020 Playoff Challenge, which I have put together, and is ready to go. I'm putting in some graphics, some custom graphics on the MFL page. But if anyone out there wants to play, it's free to join. I just need your email and I'll send you an MFL invite. Essentially, you start 8 on each side, 8 offense, 8 defense. All of the offensive positions except for quarterback are flexed. And it's 2 from each position on defense, 2 the flex positions. And then I'm trying to think. I added something spicy in there. I think it might have been I flexed out a couple of the positions, but it's really like open as far as what you can do and how you can build your rosters. And then it's utilizing the same scoring of the IDP Invitational, which is a cross between of the Scott Fish Bowl and some IDP scoring that I set up for a different league that makes everything really well balanced, and it's tight end premium. So, and cornerback premium.
Yeah.
What is it? A single or double use on the guys?
I put it as double use, and you can start by players, so you don't get pigeonholed like where you can't start a lineup. So it took some.
Gotcha.
There was. I looked at last year's, and there was a couple guys that were like, "Hey, like I can't set anything because I've already played all these guys." So it's reset so that like you can still set a lineup.
Cool.
Yeah. So, alrighty. Well, with that, let's get into the question of the week. Was it worth it? Was it?
Yeah.
Was it worth it?
This is a bunch of good people to ask that question to, because Jesus Christ, this season, good Lord. I don't know. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah.
IDP Dude, lead off.
You know, if I look at it from 2 perspectives, was it worth it for us, the fans or people, to have something to look forward to on Sundays and Thursdays and Tuesdays and Saturdays now to look forward to? Yeah, absolutely. It was nice to kind of get a break from reality and just watch football. But then as analysts and fantasy football players, I mean, this was absolutely brutal. It sucked. And to be quite honest, I lost most of my leagues because of disinterest after week 9 when you're spread so thin. And this is the downfall of being spread so thin with so many leagues, is that you just can't keep up with COVID inactivities and last minute, benchings. And it was rough. It was rough to keep track of everything. It definitely puts your wits to the test when it comes to this fantasy football game.
Yeah, man. Yeah. This is the ultimate pay attention year. And I'm like OCD with this stuff, and I had trouble with this year. I set freaking alarms for inactives. Who else does that? Like, and I still had trouble with this season. But yeah, I mean, at the end of it, yes. Now that we've done it, it's over with. Yeah, it was worth it. But was it pleasant? No. Do I ever want it to happen like this again? No.
I mean, I will say that, like, watching football, playing fantasy football, this is the closest bit of normality that we've had all year. As far as, like, things have been crazy. Things have been this second part, like, of the year where we really get into the lockdown, the huge spikes, and, like, the major concern of just going outside your house. Because I don't think it really set in back in March, April, May. Like, it really was like September, October, when the gravity of what we were dealing with really set in. Football was the respite, even though we had to deal with COVID issues. You still, for the most part, we got to see a slate of games each week. I was surprised that we made it past week 4, but we did it. Full slate, full 17 weeks we're looking at actual, like, playoffs in a Super Bowl, like, everything. We got it all. We just had to deal with, like, I don't know, players popping up positive. I'm sure Des Bryant is pretty pissed off of, that false positive that came up that got him off the field. But, we get past it. We move on. I don't know what the toll is going to be on these players as far as like not having the preseason, which probably caused a lot of injuries. How are those guys going to come back? The guys that did catch it, are they going to have lung problems in the future?
Well, it's already rearing its head. Myles Garrett does not look the same, and he's just one. There's a bunch of guys that don't look right. So,
there's some major effects that, and think of it on the personal side. Like, what about the players that played their heart out, willing to put it all on the line? They don't do well this year, and they've just had to like set aside time with their family. Like, I've been talking about it all year, but like Matthew Stafford, you're telling me the Lions had any shot at all this year? And he, at the point that they were pretty much out of it, he should have just hung it up and said, like, I'm just going to go spend time with my wife and kids. She just had brain surgery. He just had like twins and kids. Like, I don't understand how these players are able to set all that aside and still keep playing. So,
yeah, no, it's
worth it? I don't know on that end, but
yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, I don't know. This was just we've been doing this for a while, all of us. This was different, and it was rough, but whatever. We got through it. So
we did. All right. So how'd you do this week? Let's start with our guest, IDP Dude.
There wasn't much to do this week. I think the two leagues that I was alive in still did not make it through this week, unfortunately. So I think next week is the first championship week in a very, very, very long time where I have absolutely no games to look forward to or stress about. So it's weird. I know in my home league, I'm fighting for third place now, which still pays out some pretty good money. So I have that to look forward to. But yeah, big nothing for me this year.
Yeah,
Johnny.
No, it was a weird season. It ended up going okay though. Sorry, I whacked the computer screen, and it's a fucking touch screen, so it destroyed everything. Yeah, no, good. Ended up in 7 title games, guaranteed at least $300. It was fine. It was rough though. We got spread too thin, like you said. We got way spread too thin. We overreacted with all the COVID leagues in March and April. That was too much. It was a lot. It was a lot. But the ones that mattered, I did okay in, so I'll take it.
Good.
Yeah. So obviously I'm out in the invitational, but I'm advancing in the 3 leagues that I was still alive in this past week. So 2 of them on sleep, the 2 on sleeper, I thought I had no shot, to be honest. They were both heavily favored on the other side. I was able to pull them off. And then I have a ESPN league where I just fucking blew the pants off this other guy. So, yeah, I got 3 championships that I'm looking at. One of them is going up against Johnny. So hopeful to do anything there.
Is that in sleeper?
Yeah, that's
I haven't paid it. Yeah, I haven't done waivers in like a bunch of weeks. You're probably okay.
You put up the top score of the 4 guys still active.
Oh, that's because I did that crazy deal with Sean and mortgaging my future to win this year.
Yeah,
there you go.
I did the same thing. I did a huge deal for Derrick Henry, so we're both gonna go into this like one of us is gonna lose out on the mortgage.
Yeah, it's not gonna be great, but whatever.
But alrighty.
What's up, guys? It's Josh,
Adam,
and Bobby
here with the Big Three IDP Podcast. And if you've never listened to our show before, here's just a taste of the insanity that you will get week in and week out with the Big Three IDP Podcast.
Skunks are so cute.
We just ate White Castle at like 10:45 at night.
I tell you, one I liked about it a little bit more was Jeffrey Simmons.
Ooh, did you say a Bartman, like Steve Bartman? I don't like Bartman in Chicago this year. He's going to catch too many foul balls.
You know it's all about getting real and getting down to business and getting down to the facts.
Slide 'em in, slide 'em out.
It's right.
So, if you would like more of the shenanigans that you just heard in these little snippets, be sure to subscribe to the Big Three IDP Podcast wherever you get your podcast adding. Listeners are guaranteed to have a good time.
Hey, you can't afford not to do this, baby.
That's right, baby.
This week's news.
Okie dokie. More news, most of it bad, but that's par for the course this year. We'll start with Frank Ragnow fractured his throat. Did you hear about that, Nate?
Oh God, I had not.
I didn't even know you could do that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and
The last time I saw someone get their throat fractured was when Baby Yoda was knocking around those stormtroopers.
yeah. No, that's accurate. That's accurate. So I don't know. I thought that was interesting. I didn't know that was possible, but whatever, it happened. Other interesting things this week. Tyreek Hill drinks nips on sideline. You guys see that?
I think one of the episodes earlier in the season I came on, somehow we started talking about Deuce Staley, and he used to drink pickle juice.
Yeah, that's what he was doing. Yeah, it was pickle. Yeah. But everyone thought it was like vodka or something.
That would have been cool. Honestly.
So I looked it up after I saw it. Apparently, it helps a lot with like cramping and all that. So, interesting. On to real news here. So, Jets choke away the first round pick. No longer have rights to Trevor Lawrence. Rams choke the game. What are you guys more surprised about? That the Jets coughed up the first round pick or the first overall pick, or that the Rams lost this game this week?
In Jets fashion, choking away the only good thing they had going for them this season, right? Yeah.
I mean, I get it. Like, as a player, you got to play as hard as you can every week, or you may not have a job. But as a coaching staff, just, call an I formation run every single play and just run for a yard every time and get the pick. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, very crazy. I guess I don't have real news here for a while. Matt Stafford, no look pass. Nate, did you see that?
I heard something about it. I mean, I was watching that game while I was at work, so
it was good. It was better than what Mahomes did. It was legit no look pass. It was pretty sweet for a touchdown too. So that was nice. Yeah. Okay, actual news now. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, high ankle sprain, will miss the remainder of the regular season. You guys have any interest in Lev Bell?
I mean, possibly. Depends. I think if he gets 60% of the, load and the high-powered offense, sure, he's worth a RB2 look, I think.
Yep, I could deal with that. Juju dances, Steelers lose. That's not news either. I just wanted to comment on it. I've basically checked out. You guys know this. But hey, so he's danced in 5 games this year on the midfield logo and lost 3 of them. Are you guys seeing the same correlation I am?
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I like the kid back in the day, and now it's like every time I see him, it's something else. And he did get rocked though. Von Bell rocked the show, so he got it.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I saw that clip. That was That was a hit.
Yeah, that entire game was very enjoyable. That was funny. All right, Cam Akers no go this week. I think he has an ankle sprain too. Not great because he's just emerging, was getting the majority of carries, looked really good. Now it's like Malcolm Brown or Darrell Henderson going into title week. Would you guys trust either of them?
I mean, if you're like me, late in the season, you're decimated with injuries, and you have no choice but to go with one of them. I guess there's worse options.
You're not picking someone up off the waiver.
Yeah, I mean, I think Brown will probably have the better game. He might get more of the red zone goal line touches, but I mean, it's a roll of the dice with these two.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So not ideal, but yep, that happened too.
The good thing is that it's a 50-50 shot instead of a 33.33% shot this year or this week.
That's true. That's true for like one of the few times this year. Yeah, because that's how it was the first like 8 or 9 weeks. It was crazy. Jim Caldwell meets the Texans about their head coaching job. Nate, would you be happy if he got that job?
Houston? I mean, Caldwell's not a terrible coach. As much as like it's a lot of hindsight's 2020. Like he wasn't really that bad on the Lions, and I do wish they didn't get Patricia. Looking back, but I don't know. I think give him a shot. Why not?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, and this one's for IDP Dude. Stefon Gilmore done for the season. What was up with him this year, man? Good God, did he come crashing back to earth after that, like, really great defensive player of the year campaign the year before?
Down in the dumps, just like the Patriots.
Yeah.
Yeah, rough year. I don't know. I don't know what it was this year. I mean, I watched quite a few games, and I try to watch him exclusively when I did some rewinds, and I don't know, he didn't look himself, and I couldn't really tell what it was. He didn't look as fast as he did last year. He didn't react as fast as he did last year. And I think a lot of times, watching some of the downfield stuff, he just seemed to not be able to put his eye on where the ball was or where he should be. He was in the wrong place a couple times. So I don't know if it was just him slacking this year, if it was a mindset thing, just because I think a lot of them knew pretty early on in the season that they weren't going to go very far. I mean, I don't know what it was, but yeah, he certainly didn't look like the player he was last year.
Yep, definitely disappointing. Jalen Hurts gets the nod. So, hey, that's something for this week. If you need super flex help, good Lord, that'll do it right there. And last but not least, on the news side of things, not really news either, but whatever. IDP Dude's reaction to Bills Mafia and the Patriots missing the playoffs. What are things like up there right now? And talk to us. It's the first time in like 20-something years you guys haven't gone. What's going on?
Yeah,
how do you feel?
So it's weird because I know the city is super happy and you can see it all over social media and stuff, but it's missing that wow feeling because people aren't out celebrating together. The parking lots aren't jam-packed with people partying and breaking tables and shit. The bars aren't open. People aren't in there celebrating and, drinking their ass off every Sunday. So it's weird because everyone's super pumped and super excited and super happy, but they're not able to do it together. So it's a bit weird. And of all the years for them to be like really fucking good, it sucks that it's this year, at least for the people in Buffalo. Not that they wouldn't take it because obviously they need this really bad, but to not be out there and just, partying your ass off is crazy. But I think there's a ton of excitement here, and rightfully so. They look good. So yeah, it's been 25 years in the making. So
yeah,
it had to happen sometime
for sure.
Yep. Yeah, and we've talked to you about this basically every time you've come on. Like long term, I don't think you're worried. I know I'm not. Belichick, as long as he's drawing breath, they'll figure something out. They just need to fix a couple spots, get half their defense back that didn't come back because of Corona, things like that.
Yeah.
How much time do you think Belichick is willing to give the Patriots before hanging it up? Because I think that's really going to be the time to start worrying.
Yeah. From the outside looking in, I would say if he didn't just hang it up this year, he would probably give it another 3 to 4 years tops. That's my thinking. They're like really on the cusp of needing a very big rebuild. So either they're going to have to make some crazy offseason acquisitions and have a really good draft, or they're going to be in the situation for a couple years to come. And their quarterback situation is not ideal. No idea who they're going to roll out with next year. So I don't know. They're either going to fix it right away and be back in the swing of things next year, or it's going to be like this for a couple years.
Yep. We shall see. And couple notes here. Congratulations to Rebecca Bagnerol and me for winning the IDP Guys Survivor League number 2. DM me for a free entry into FanDuel or DraftKings contest of your choice. That's at OrangeMan3142 on Twitter. Congratulations on winning the contest. That's it.
MyFantasyFootballShirt.com is your place to get top quality fantasy football gear. Get yourself some merch from some of your favorite podcasts. Need some custom shirts for your league? Contact us today. Just go to MyFantasyFootballShirt.com. All right, let's talk through some players. We're going to compare 3 sets, 2 sets of defense, 1 set of offense, send it out to you guys out in Twitterland, and see what y'all think next week. But let's talk about last week's gut checks. We've got a pair of linebackers, Jacksonville's Miles Jack, and San Francisco's Fred Warner with 165 votes. 68% went Fred Warner.
Yeah.
This was interesting because we got a lot of comments on this tweet. People saying, but he's not playing this week. He has no value.
Yep.
I was like, no value. I'm like, at the same time, I was doing a mock draft where Fred Warner went 3rd linebacker, like LB3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it can be anything you want it to be. It can be dynasty. It can be, you got both as an option, who you starting. I mean, for me, it probably depends on matchup. But there's no question Jack has been much better this year.
True. But I'm just saying, like, these people were complaining that anyone voted for Fred Warner. Like, they were like, this guy has no value at all. Like, next question.
Yeah, I think I probably would go Warner, especially if I was doing a startup league right now. I probably 99% of the time go with Warner. So that would be my vote.
Gotcha. All right, pair of safeties. Bengals Jesse Bates versus the Panthers Jeremy Chin with 102 votes. 83% Jeremy Chin.
That's kind of mind-blowing, Yeah, he's been nice this year, but it's been boom or bust, basically, where Bates gives you a safety 1 every week, every single week, no matter what.
All right, and now we got a pair of wide receivers, Buffalo's Stefon Diggs versus Houston's DeAndre Hopkins, 167 votes, 69. Nice. Stefon Diggs.
Ooh-wee.
Good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, we got another whole new edition this week. We're going to call this the Overrated Steelers edition of Gut Check.
Okay.
So who do you want? A pair of young wide receivers. T. Higgins, Bengals. Juju Smith-Schuster, Steelers. I guess we'll say Dynasty because, I mean, if it's redraft and you're going into the title game, you're starting Juju. Ryan Finley is still better than Roethlisberger most of the time. Not this week, but most of the time. What do you guys think?
I think Dynasty, I'd probably go Higgins.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, so when Burrow's healthy, that offense is legit. Yeah,
Yep.
so I think I'd go Higgins as well.
Less weapons to compete with too. I mean, you got to think AJ Green will be gone next year,
Mhm.
so it's going to be Higgins and Boyd probably. And honestly, outside of a couple weeks, it seems like Smith-Schuster is just taking a back seat to some of the other weapons on Pittsburgh. So I don't really see that changing anytime soon because no one's going anywhere.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right. He's got to deal with Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool and Ebron, and yeah, they got other places they can go, definitely.
And someone who is going to be going somewhere probably soon is Roethlisberger. How many years does he have left that he can man that team? And so you're looking at T. Higgins, who's a rookie this year. He's got 4 years on that contract, and Joe Burrow coming in. They got 4 years of production ahead of them. Juju Smith-Schuster and Ben Roethlisberger, you don't know.
Yep. No,
agree.
absolutely. Okay, pair of young safeties here too. We got Antoine Winfield Jr. or Minka Fitzpatrick. These guys were actually like 3 points apart in the league I took this from. And for me, I mean, obviously I'm going Winfield. I've never been a Minka Fitzpatrick fan. I'm not into scoring points every third week when the planets align and the moon is a quarter full. And Winfield's been a little bit like that this year too, but it's also his rookie season. And if you look at that defense, there's playmakers everywhere. There's competition for tackles everywhere. Like it's crazy hard to get anything done in that defense. You're dealing with Devin White, Levante David, Jordan Whitehead. The corners are good. The defensive line is good, and he's still played really well this year. I think the sky's the limit for Winfield. What do you guys think?
Yep, I'm on board with everything you said.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, pair of defensive tackles, couple of older guys, but that have been, a part of top 10 IDP defensive tackles for a long time. Cameron Hayward, Steelers, Fletcher Cox, Eagles. And, last year I would have said Hayward, but Cox is having such a good year. He might have changed my opinion a little bit. I think I'm still going to say Hayward, though. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'd say Hayward too. I think Cox had a slow start to the year, if I remember correctly, and has since then improved. But I would always go Hayward. It's just a favorite of mine. So
yeah,
Mhm.
same.
Yeah,
No good.
I was just gonna say Hayward as well, but I do end up getting Fletcher Cox, and usually a little bit later because he does get slept on.
oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, he does, and he's had some really, really good games this year. I just feel like Hayward's more consistent. Like he may not get you a sack, but he's going to get 5 to 6 tackles, tackle for loss, occasional, batted ball, pass defense. So, yeah, he's been good. Alrighty, we'll see what the people think.
Alrighty. Alrighty, let's get into some listener questions. Always, you can get your questions answered via being in our Slack chat. So become a subscriber and click on that subscriber Slack chat link and get in and ask all the questions you want. Johnny usually pulls from there. Also, his Outlook account. And coming soon, we will have a Patreon again, and that will allow you to watch this as we record, and we'll have a Q&A after the show. So with that, Johnny, you've got some questions for us?
Yeah, okay, so this was from the Slack. This was from JB Dunn3 in the listener Slack chat, and he said, who do you like for streaming corners options for championship week? I know, that's one of my favorite things to do. I write about it every week. Some matchups I was looking at this week, Atlanta KC is the obvious one. The first and the third best passing offenses. Yeah, I mean, if you can get AJ Terrell, L'Jarius Sneed, those guys, you're looking great. Rashad Neesman is actually someone you could probably get from that matchup too. That would be pretty solid. Surprisingly, Bucks and Lions both have top 10 passing offenses. I don't know when that happened, but it's a thing. It is true. And they'll be inside. So Amani Awarie, Carlton Davis, Sean Murphy Bunting, Jamel Dean, all good options there. And this on paper, this is only half of a good matchup, but I don't know what you guys think, but I feel like this is going to be an epic, crazy shootout of a game. Titans Packers.
Yeah, I think it could be.
I think it will too. I think we're getting like 60 or 70 combined points, easy in that one. So Kevin King, Jair Alexander, Malcolm Butler, guys like that would be good. Anyone else you guys are liking this week for streaming corners?
I wrote down a few off the top of my head because I just started my rankings today. So that's usually how I identify them. But my first one I did have was AJ Terrell. So you hit that one. And then as far as streaming, I mean, it really all depends on what you're looking at for your league. But I put some of the identifying matchups was DJ Reed versus the Rams, Emmanuel Mosley versus Arizona, and Trevon Diggs versus Philly.
Nice, yeah.
Yep.
Something to pay attention to,
Yeah, those all look good. So it's like for me, it goes like matchup is the overall thing, and then I look at playing time, offensive, defensive ranks, stuff like that, pass production, stuff like that. But really, all you can do is put yourself in the best position and hope it works out.
Well, we have two of our top weekly content producers here today. With obviously Johnny puts out like 25,000 words every week, but then on the data side of it, IDP Dude puts out weekly rankings and does the matchup charts. So generally for our audience, you should be paying attention to both of these guys each week in season, where you get the rankings from IDP Dude, the matchup charts, and then click over to Johnny's corners to see where what corners in those matchups to be grabbing.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
And that article will be out Friday. And when do your rankings come out, IDP Dude?
So I usually either get them out Wednesday evening or Thursday morning is when they come out. So most likely they'll be done tomorrow afternoon.
Gotcha.
For everyone.
Awesome. So before we get to Johnny's outlook question, let's get one more football question in here. This is from Shannon Sells, who sent us a message on Twitter. And he said he recorded and saved what we said in the December 2nd pod at the 8-minute mark about no trade deadline. He said it was the best thing I've heard reasoned on in an IDP podcast. 100% agreeing. It keeps leagues competitive. Our main league does playoffs weeks 15 through 17, which I think forces even more trade balancing. Trying to get my league mates to be on board. When I created the league, I wanted to figure out a way to utilize all regular season weeks. What are your thoughts on going to week 17? I honestly don't think it's an issue anymore. If an NFL team is out of it, they could sit players well before week 17, or just sit a star player at that point when he's trying to come back from an injury. Any feedback would be appreciated. So essentially, how do you guys feel about playoffs, your championship week on week 17?
I mean, yeah, it's gotten better. There aren't as many people like coaches resting guys as it used to be back in the day. There's something to be said for keeping them playing to not get cold and stuff. But I think it's mostly just tradition now that you don't do it when you do it. But my thing is, if there's any chance for shenanigans, why even go there?
Right. So I was talking back and forth with this guy and kind of gave, I said, this is probably what we're going to say. And, me as a fantasy player, when I see a week 17 championship, I don't play in that league. So he came back with, what about a blended week 16 to 17, like a 2-week total?
Yeah.
I've never done one of those. Have you guys done one of those?
I've seen it done a few times. I did a league once, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, where it was a blended week 16, 17. I thought it was fine. Honestly, I don't have a problem with it. Like Johnny said, a lot of teams are playing into week 17 now with their full rosters. I mean, the only time you have to ever really worry about anything is if it's week 17 and the Chiefs have the AFC championship locked up. They might pull Mahomes like halfway through the third quarter or something like that. But you're not getting zero production out of your main guys. I think you're getting production out of everyone that you drafted as long as they're healthy. So I don't have a problem with it. Plus, if it gives you an extra week of playing time and everyone's on board with it, why not?
Yeah, I think I would have to go with the blended week 16, week 17, because what it does offer you is you have that kind of second chance. So if you're in the championship game and maybe something comes up and you had a guy that just threw a dud and you lost by 1 or 2 points, you're not technically out of it. You got that week 17 to see if you can make it up. So it keeps it a little more competitive, because you got to prove yourself 2 weeks in a row.
I agree. I like it.
Yeah. There we go. All right. So Johnny, what did your Outlook have to say?
Okay, so I got an email from Juju's Dances Hurt the Steelers' Chances at Outlook.com. Asks, thoughts on the Mandalorian season finale? Negative Nancy Sean can keep it in park. We already know what he thinks.
Yeah.
Oh, this listener clearly knows what they're talking about.
Seems like this question might be a little geared towards me. So,
you do have the Star Wars master on. Fire away, sir.
So, by the way, if you haven't watched it yet, this is a huge spoiler. So, sucks to be you if you haven't watched it. So, the last episode, I thought it was cool. Let me think of where I want to start with this. First of all, my initial reaction was as the episode's playing out and I saw the X-Wing fighter fly up. I don't know why I even thought of it, but as soon as I saw it, I was like, shit, that's Skywalker. He's coming to whoop some ass. And it was. So I was like, okay, that's like one prediction I got right this whole season. But the other part of it that like made me super sad was he was like Child Protective Services coming to like take someone's kid away from them. I was like, how are you gonna take this guy's baby away from him? Come on, man. You see how sad he was and how sad little Grogu was? I was like, you can't separate these two.
Yeah.
But no, I thought it was cool. I thought it was a nice fitting ending to the season and opens up some gateway and some stories and dialogue to some of the in-between story between episode 3 and episode 4. So it's kind of cool. I liked it. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I liked it. I wish they would have just gotten Sebastian Stan instead of done that CGI monstrosity. That would have been cooler, and I think would have possibly hinted towards a standalone series, which would be really cool to have just a Luke Skywalker show. But overall, really liked the show, and the parallels that Jon Favreau did with Darth Vader in Rogue One, coming down like the corridor, just killing people. Granted, it was droids, but that was cool that how he played that out. Like it was essentially the same scene, father and son. Jon Favreau is a mastermind of pop culture.
Yeah,
like he knows how to hit that nostalgia button, like really hard. So
yeah, they did a good job with it, and they set up a lot of good stuff. The Boba Fett stuff looks awesome. It was just great. They did Star Wars the right way. Yeah, sure. I know there was, a lot of fan service there, but that's what we need. We don't need all this weird Last Jedi crap. We don't need all this SJW nonsense, Yeah.
I would say that there's a lot of fan service, but I would state that they're diving into material that hasn't been covered in canon as much as like all of this stuff from the cartoons and the extended universe they're bringing in rather than doing like what the last 3 movies were, which was we're going to take no source material and come up with things fresh.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest key for the nostalgia factor for everyone that's been a Star Wars fan forever and ever. Looking back 15 years ago, can't even really imagining all the new content they would be coming out with now here in 2020. For me, it's always nice because the whole story in itself is so vast and it has so many different facets and avenues you can explore and so many different storylines you can tell that will definitely piece so much together in the universe that we've never really discovered before. And I like that better than like what you said, to just come up with random stories and just take it off in any direction and then have to somehow at some point realize what you're doing doesn't make sense and try to save it by tying it in to something that happened 50 years ago in the story. So I'm a big fan of just making the connections where they already exist rather than coming up with this crazy new content.
So speaking of all of that, did either of you guys see the Mark Hamill interview recently where he said that he didn't agree with the direction of Skywalker and that Skywalker would never have tried to murder his best friend and sister's son?
Yeah, I saw that. He said Jake Skywalker would do that, not Luke Skywalker. Yeah, that's pretty good.
A different character.
No, but you're right though, IDP dude. There's so much good stuff out there, like in the books, the comics, the cartoons, everything. Like, just start pulling from that. There's so much in there that's good, like all the Thrawn stuff and Clone Wars stuff. There's so much. Yeah, it looks good. The future looks bright.
There's so much in between story that they haven't told. So start with that before you start building off into other directions.
Yeah. Right.
Alrighty. Alrighty, let's get into our week in review and now championship waivers. We'll start talking football again. Johnny, you want to kick off the waivers?
Yeah, there's really nothing this week. I actually did look through everything. And I mean, there's a couple injuries, a couple replacement type things, nothing crazy. The one I saw that made the most sense to me was Mike Epps on the Eagles. Because what the hell's his name? Oh, not Mills, the other one. You know what I'm talking about.
The one with the crazy colored hair.
Yeah, and the weird last name.
This escapes me.
Is it Corey something? Eagles depth chart. I see. My brain is so fried.
How could I not remember this?
Yeah, it's hang on, I'm looking. It is not here because he's on IR.
Oh man,
it's amazing the amount of prep we put into this show.
Yeah, well, there actually was a good amount of prep. It's just not here.
No, there is.
And it's Tuesday night. I put in like 32 hours of work already this week. This is just not on the list of priorities. Eagles safeties. Jalen Mills. No, it's not Jalen Mills.
It's not is it
McLeod? Rodney
Rodney
McLeod.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, he's on IR. He's on IR. This guy Mike Epps came in last week, played 100% of snaps, and just destroyed it. He had like 30 points in my home league, out of nowhere. So that's actually the one that looked like it made the most sense to me. If you do need like a safety option this week, that's pretty good. Also, Sheldrick Redwine. If Sendejo, other than that, like there's nothing that really blew me away. There's no Tyrell Adams type thing this week, anything like that. So this is essentially a dance with the girl you brought scenario. You got this far with that. Now is the worst time to just take 1 week of production and snaps that, off waivers and trust it in the championship game. That's just a terrible idea. Even if it's a bad option, go with an option you know what you're getting rather than, getting the rug pulled out from under you when it matters most. So that's it. That's all I'm willing to give this week. You guys got any?
I don't, but every time you say Mike Epps, I think of the comedian.
Yeah. I didn't put that together.
Like you put Mike Epps, and that's the first thing I thought of for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah. Anyways,
he plays for the Eagles now.
Yeah, he does.
There were some trending transactions on offense. We talked about Darrell Henderson and Malcolm Brown a little bit. I agree. I think Malcolm Brown's probably the better option just for the red zone stuff. Apparently, Ito Smith has now taken over as the running back for the Falcons. I'm not interested. You guys?
Nah.
Yep. Didn't think so. If James Conner can't go, Benny Schnell's an option. He was okay the other day. I don't know. Could do worse. What do you guys think?
I mean, I'm not. If I have other options that are healthy, yeah, I'm probably using them ahead of him. That's kind of like you're like shit out of luck, or James Conner was your like number 2 running back, and you have nothing else, and hopefully you have a handcuff and you're just rolling with it. Don't go out of your way to pick up Snell, start him in your championship week.
If you're in championship week, I mean, you should be pretty set. Like there weren't major injuries this past week that you'd be trying to replace. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Marcus Mariota for Superflex. It's fine, but it's the Dolphins. They got a decent defense, so it's okay. There's a rumor George Kittle could play this week. I don't know if that's actually happening though, because that was dependent on their wild card chances, which got essentially flushed against the Cowboys. So I wouldn't count on it. Dare Ogunbowale, if James Robinson can't go, once again, no thank you. This one's interesting though. John Brown. So Diggs has the foot injury. He'll probably be fine. They said it wasn't major, but the division's wrapped up. The chances of them getting the 2 seed are there, but a bunch of stuff would have to happen first before it could even be an option. Why risk it? So if Diggs plays, I don't know if he sees as many snaps as he normally does. John Brown got activated off IR. I think that's a sweet option if Diggs doesn't go and he plays. That feels good.
Yeah, for sure. It's been crazy how well they've been playing without John Brown. So I'm curious to see the dynamic when they're all back, when you got Diggs and Brown in the lineup, because they were pretty good together early in the season. But Diggs has become like the go-to guy. So I want to see how Brown's going to eat into his target share when they're both on the field.
Yep, that's a good call. Tyron Johnson, Chargers. I think that was just more, Keenan Allen injury, Mike Williams injury, backup stuff. I wouldn't trust that. Chad Henson, Houston. I mean, he's been okay, but the targets have been few and far between. That's worrying. And once again, I would just go with what you already got. Probably all set here.
Yep. All right, so let's do our over, met, and under. We'll start off with over. IDP Dude, who do you got?
So the over, I did have Alex Singleton in there. I had a Landon Roberts in there from Miami. Nicole Roby-Coleman, if I remember correctly, from Philly. He had a crazy game. Don't chase those points in your championship week.
No.
And then the Patriots linebacker, who's been okay for the last, 6 games. Hall, I think it's Therese Hall. He had an overproductive week, and it might pop out to some people on the waivers if you're in a thin league, but I wouldn't chase it.
Yeah, that was because of the Bentley stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. Over, I've got Devin White monster day for Devin White.
Mhm.
Alex Singleton has been great. Like IDP Dude said, he's on my list as well. He's been excellent for free, cost nothing, just killing it for like a
Yep.
month plus now. And Zach Cunningham played every snap and had 10 solo tackles. So nice week for him too.
Nice. And all right, so for my over, I went with a guy that saved me this past week from Roethlisberger murdering my team. That is Eric Armstead, who got 2 sacks and 8 tackles. Absolutely blew it out of the water and pretty much replaced my quarterback position. If it was 2 quarterbacks, it was him and Josh Allen.
Nice. Gotcha. All right, for Met IDP Dude, who you got for Met expectations?
I didn't have anything for my expectations.
Yeah, that's
It
that's
happened.
fine. It happens. It happens. I went with Cam Hayward. Had a nice bounce back week. Marshawn Lattimore and Janoris Jenkins. That was the easiest corner stream ever. By the way,
Yeah.
if you saw KC coming to town in a dome, and Lattimore and Jenkins are sitting on your waiver wire. Jesus Christ! It does not get any easier than that, right there.
Nice. For my Met, also helped me get past this week. Bobby Wagner with 13 tackles, doing what Bobby Wagner should be doing. So that was good.
Yeah. Yep. And last but not least, underproduced. IDP Dude, you got anyone for under?
Yeah. So for me, I put all safeties because this week was a bit of a letdown compared to what they normally do, and that was the trio of Buda Baker, Jeremy Chin, Jesse Bates. They all kind of had a little bit of a down week. Certainly not what I expected from them. I think I had them all ranked in the top 12 this week, and I don't think any of them made top 30. So, yeah.
Jesus.
Part of the reason why I'm not in the next round this week. So,
Yep, it happens. Under, I've got Aaron Donald. Picked a bad week to stop clapping cheeks.
yep.
Better get back to it. Joey Bosa, he only played like 22% of snaps. He's banged up again, so not great timing on that. And JJ Watt, who's actually had a really good year. So, whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, and speaking of not clapping cheeks, Sam Hubbard, 2 quarterback hits and 1 pass defense. That was it.
Yeah, not great.
Nope.
Yep.
Dynasty Football Digest, your new essential site for Dynasty information. For as little as $1 a month, gain access to all that we have to offer. Rankings, trends, ADP, in-season assets, and a Slack chat just for subscribers. Purchase today at dynastyfootballdigest.com.
Alrighty. Let's talk steak and salad. We can let our guests go first with the steak. IDP Dude, what's something good?
I think the steak is that we are nearing the end of the season. I'm stealing a little nibble of Johnny's steak here. For people that produce content, it's nice when you get near the end because it's a little bit of a downtime, relaxation. So that's steak for me this year, is just seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yep. We get to actually just play fantasy football now. What's that like? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's a good steak. Yeah, I got something similar. So yeah, I'm happy I made 7 title games. Beat some people I wanted to beat. Made a bunch of money. About to go on vacation. Done writing, and teasing a special project this summer that I talked to Nate about a little while ago. It'll have something to do with that article I wrote about my buddy in the Army a couple of years back. So that'll happen this summer.
Cool.
Nice. Yeah. So my stake is that I beat some heavy hitters to advance into the championship in 3 leagues. So that was cool. You know, guys that I wasn't expecting. Todd from DFD. Luckily, he kept like Zeke in and a few things. He made some bumbles, but I was able to eke out a win against him. And from the big three, I think his name is Leesus, whatever.
Their doctor. Yeah,
their doctor. Yeah, I beat him in the Unreal tournament. So, but now I've got you and Adam IDP. So that's going into my salad. Is my championship week is Jonny and Adam IDP in sleeper that I have to get past to win the ship.
Yeah. Well, good luck.
I'll need it. All right. What about you, IDP dude?
The salad for me this year is just a whole shit ton of losing. No championship for me in fantasy this year. No playoffs for the Patriots. It's just time to watch football, and that's about it.
Are you gonna somewhat adapt the Bills, or the division hate is too strong? What do you think? I did.
Oh no,
I don't know if you can tell.
I can see you got the Bill swag on today. I like that.
I'm on board.
I certainly want to see them do well. I would love to see them go to the Super Bowl. I'd love to see them win. It's cool. I live here. So I guess I root for them if they're not playing the Patriots, but for them to be here finally, and win the division after 25 years, and their team is great. I'm all on board. So if they can do it this year, I'll be behind them and I'll be rooting for them.
Yeah, I feel you, man. And it's a hard team to dislike, like we love a bunch of those dudes on the IDP side, from the corners to the linebackers to the safeties. Like, we like a lot of guys there. And on the offensive side, like, good Lord, how can you not like Allen? Diggs is like a completely different person over here, and he's just killing it. Like, yeah, they got a lot of nice pieces. Yeah,
fun to watch.
Yes. And last but not least, my salad is, I don't really have one, except Dallas continues to screw up their draft position.
The IDP Guys is your #1 resource for IDP information for your fantasy leagues. For as little as $1 a month, get access to all that we have to offer: rankings, ADP trade calculator, in-season assets, and a Slack chat to get personal help all year round. Purchase today at idpguys.org.
Jonny The Greek.
Alrighty, time for Jonny The Greek. This is brought to you by Statement Games. We sponsor a game, the Sunday night game, NFL tournament on their app. And Jonny, you want to go into that a little more?
Yeah, so we get the NBC Sunday night game every week. It's free to play. You log into statementgames.com. You can use your Google account or create an account. You're ranking 10 statements based in order of confidence from 10 points down to 1. All these statements are prop bets based on players, receiving yards, rushing yards, sacks, over-unders, stuff like that. It's fun. It's easy to play. You win coins. The coins turn into gift cards. And with our tournament, you can win a jersey of any team, size, player, whatever. All you got to do is enter, play, win your contest, and then
you have to be a VIP member now.
Yeah, there you go.
The rules got kind of muddled, so I would just defer to what Statement Games is doing now, but we're still sponsoring it and talking about it.
Well, yeah, play the contest, win the contest. You can worry about it from there.
Yeah.
And it's free, so it doesn't hurt. Right. Okay, this week we've got a great Sunday night game. We got Packers-Titans in Green Bay, I believe. So going to be really good. There is an over-under for Derrick Henry's rushing yards here, I believe. Yes, there is. That we're doing the over on that. But okay, last week's contest winner was Matsar, Matsar. Congratulations on winning the contest. Contact Statement Games for your jersey. Yay! Alrighty. So we got some statements here. We'll just pick them together like we've been doing. So first one is over or under 56.5 combined points. I'm taking the over. I don't know about you guys.
Yep, over.
Yeah, this feels like an epic shootout Sunday night of, ridiculous proportions. So I'm ready. Green Bay will win or Green Bay will not win by over or under 3.5. Will win by over 3.5 points or will not win by over 3.5 points. That's worded a little weird, but straight up, I've got Tennessee winning. So I guess we'll take the 3.5 points. I'm going Green Bay will not win. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
It's a toss up, so I'm just taking the points basically.
Yep.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers over or under 2.5 passing touchdowns. I think he probably throws 3. What do you guys think?
I'm good with the over. I think he can get 3.
Yeah. I mean, most games this year he's thrown 3, and this is going to be a game where he needs to. So I think it's coming. Aaron Jones over or under 74.5 rushing yards. This one I have no idea. I think I'm taking the under just because I feel like it's going to be more passing. If it was combined yards, I'd say over, but it's just rushing yards. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think he's going to have probably just as much receiving yards as he is rushing yards this game. If it was, like you said, if it was combined, I would take the over, but just purely rushing, I'm going to say under.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that type of game. Like this doesn't feel like 3 yards in a cloud of dust. It feels like an air show. So, Derrick Henry over under 78.5 rushing yards against one of the most horrible rush defenses on the planet. I will go over.
Nice.
And
didn't he have like almost 100 yards in that Detroit game before the first half?
Yeah, and he had some plays called back and stuff. Like he was having a monster game. Yeah. Okay, Devontae Adams over under 71.5 receiving yards. That's over.
I would go over.
Yeah, big Devontae Adams game. Unless you guys think Malcolm Butler's going to shut him down.
I don't think he'll shut him down. He might contain him a little bit, but I mean, it only takes 2 passes for him to go over that mark. So we might be all right.
Yeah, I think so. All right, so those are some of the statements for the upcoming Sunday night game. Make sure you get on statementgames.com to play that.
Yep, absolutely. All right, Johnny, what's the rest of your betting segment?
Well, apologies to everyone that is down a mortgage.
I forgot that you said to take out a second one.
Yeah. It felt like a lock. It felt good. I can't believe that shit happened. How the hell do you lose to the Jets? How do you do that? Unbelievable.
Well, I mean, if you look at, historically, someone's got to lose. There's only been, at this point, 2 0-16 teams. It's really rare. I just don't know how the Rams did that.
Yeah. Right. That's what doesn't make sense. Like, how do the Rams beat all these really good teams, annihilate the Patriots the week before, and then nothing? Like, I don't get it. So anyway, sorry.
To all you homeless people out there.
Yeah, sorry to all the homeless people. Kyle B actually hit me up. His buddy had a 10-team parlay that missed by just that game.
Oh,
wow.
Can you believe that shit? How bad a beat is that? Like,
that sucks.
Brutal. Anyway, this week I'm doubling down. I'm taking Browns money line against the Jets.
Yeah.
It can't happen. Can't happen twice, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. Alrighty. With that, we close up our 135th episode. Make sure you're following us on Twitter at IDP Guys. Individually, I'm at Nate Cheat. John is at OrangeMan3142. And IDP Dude is at IDP_Dude. Subscribe to the show. Go to idpguys.org. In the sidebar, there are links to iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and an RSS feed for the podcatcher of your choice. While you're there, become a subscriber, get access to all of the great premium data, all of the rankings IDP Dude does in the season, all of the rankings for Dynasty that gets done by the rest of the staff. We've got tools. We've got the subscriber Slack chat. I'm pretty sure that Joe G said that we're the only reason he made it to the championship game. Did I read that correctly? I don't know.
Congrats, Joe G, by the way. You are a true degenerate, sir.
Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Writer Digest Network, REITER, where you can get this show, see our pretty faces, along with IDP Nation, Devi IDP Grind, Joey's IDP Update. We've got tons of shows, and actually just one of our Dan Friedman is going to be taking over, setting up and moving us forward. He's going to be our John Favreau of the IDP guys. Also, before the season is up, make sure to pre-order your magazine subscription for the 2021 Dynasty Football Digest magazine, rookie draft guide. We put them out, started last year, and we're doing it again this coming up year. Just a great resource for the rookie draft, and talking guys that were in there that ended up being super relevant late in the season. Alex Singleton was in there. Jalen Hurts had a profile in there and talked about his talent. So it's not just about like the guys that you end up drafting and the guys you get off the weight, into your taxi squad like right away. It's relevant all the way through the season to see some of these guys come up and who's going to make it into your squad off the waiver wire in, week 14, 15, and 16. So definitely check that out. There's a product code right now to get the magazine level subscription and access to the sites. NFL Draft 2021 will get you all of that for $19. So go check that out. And with that, IDP Dude, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was great. And any final thoughts?
Yeah, Feats and Meats podcast with me and IDP Dude coming this summer.